Tamara Brown, owner of Mwokaji Cakery, and today I'm going to show you how to make a super spooky caramel apple. The ingredients for your caramel coating are 2 cups of sugar, 2 pinches of pink Himalayan sea salt, and for all my treats, I like to use that pink Himalayan sea salt as opposed to a kosher or regular salt. If you choose to use those, that's fine, no problem, easy peasy. 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 1/3 cup of cream, and a tablespoon of honey. I'll pour my 2 cups of sugar into a heavy stainless steel pan, or if you have a copper, or sometimes I even use my cast iron skillet. I'll cook that on medium until the crystal sugars start to melt. Then on a separate burner, I'll pour in my heavy cream and my honey. Some recipes call for corn syrup for their caramel coating. I like to use honey. As long as it is an inverted sugar, you're good to go. You can see the edges of the sugar starting to caramelize and melt. You know it's ready when the entire pan looks like those edges and a little darker. While we're waiting on our heavy cream and sugar to cook, we'll take this time to put our sticks in our apples. I buy my caramel apple sticks from Smart & Final or any store that sells these pre-cut sticks where they have one end already sharpened like a pencil. I'll just grab an apple and stick it in. The beauty of these are, it's super easy, super simple, and when they're in, they're in. You can make your caramel apples with any type of apple you choose. I always love Granny Smith because they're tart and juicy, and that goes perfect with my caramel sauce. Our sugar has completely melted. As you can see, no more granules, dark ambery color. Let's take our hot, heavy cream and honey and pour it into our melted sugars. After that's calmed down, we'll give it a stir. And I'll dump in my butter. This smells so good. You can smell that melted butter, that caramelized sugar. These are going to turn out great. And if this starts to cool down while you're dipping your apples, just put it back on here for a couple seconds and reheat. After all the cream is blended and well mixed into your caramelized sugar, that's when I add my couple pinches of pink Himalayan sea salt. Once that's in there good, I add a couple of drops of black food coloring to add the spooky factor to our apples. Mix in that food coloring until your brown caramel turns black. I pulled out my sheet pan with my cooling rack, and again that parchment underneath there to catch any excessive dripping. Now that I have my black caramel sauce and my apples on a stick, let's get to coating. I roll it around a couple times just to make sure it's evenly coated, let the excess drip off, and then I put it on my cooling rack. I'll have to get that black sugar on here before it cools or it will not stick. It's gonna be messy, but again, this is the best kind of mess. Once I feel like it's adequately dripped off, I'll bring it over here. Otherwise, you'll have caramel drippings inside your black sugar. These black sugars are perfect. They almost remind me of poppy seeds. I love it already. And if you wanted to cover these with something else, you absolutely could. This recipe will cover 12 regular sized apples and 24 mini apples. Once I'm done covering my caramel apples in the black sugar, I like to set them in the fridge Let them get good and hard so that way I can apply a nice big black bow. Our apples are set, fresh out the fridge, covered in caramel, black sugar, and now for the final touch, adding that black bow on top. I just scrape off that extra caramel onto my cooling rack to clean up the bottom of my apple and put it on a clean sheet of parchment. I like my ribbon a little thick. I think it adds to the presentation. I take off enough to make a good sized bow. I tie it just like a shoelace. Tie my knot, under over, pull down the ribbon sides, tighten up my center, raise it to the top, and voila! You have a super spooky caramel apple. Thank you so much for watching my spooky caramel apple video. Please, if you can like and share, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, subscribe to my channel, and as always, the recipe is in the description. Till next time.